Hold on. Did you just say what I think you said? Joker 2 is bad? Joker 2 is bad? Objection! Your Honor and the good people of the jury, I, Sriracha Large Forehead Esquire, am defending my client, Arthur Fleck, from the meanies and dummy heads on the internet that say Joker 2 is a bad movie. I object! We'll get into the charges, and I will show you why my client, Arthur Fleck, is 100% innocent on all counts and should be allowed back into your hearts, your phone wallpapers, and your TikTok thirst trap edits. Let's begin! What are the charges? Felony narrative negligence and unlawful ending ruining. Charge 2, aggravated jonkler abuse and stabbiness. Charge 3, reckless disrespect, face-slapping, and pie-in-the-facing of the Joker fanbase. Today, my friends, we will have true justice. Court's in session. I just saw Joker 2. I know I'm a little late to the party, but ladies and gentlefish of the jury, I have some news that you might not agree with. Joker 2 is good. Like, really good. Like, it's actually one of the best stories that I've ever seen. I'm not kidding. I'm not joking. This isn't some stupid meme. I genuinely liked Joker 2. Before I get into my arguments, I do want to say that it's okay for us to disagree, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, you are going to find him innocent, but maybe you attended court today just to see what some dumb schmuck has to say and to pee on my shoes during the recess. I get that. I would do it too. But just hear me out and see what I gotta say. Allow me to explain my points and see how I could come to such a terrible conclusion. I know I got a hot take, but hear me out. Spoilers for the movie, obviously. So whenever Joker 1 came out, I was like many of you. I saw it, I thought it was a fantastic movie, great story, great characters, great ending, great writing, great cinematography. Everything in that movie worked so well. A perfect revenge story. Really, really good. Arthur's just a guy who gets beaten up over and over again by life, and he finally snaps and takes his sweet revenge. Everything worked so well in Joker 1, which was carried on my client's bony shoulders, by the way. And then 5 years go by, and we get Joker Folie à Deux. And I wasn't into it, honestly. I saw Lady Gaga was on the cover. I saw that it was going to be a musical. I saw them doing the Joker humping, air thrusting dance on the stairs. And I was like, oh man, no, this is going to suck. I can tell. And then I heard that he gets stabbed to death and ding-donged by the guards. And I was like, why would they do that to this great character? What is wrong with these people? My boy, look what they've done to my boy. And for a long time, I refused to watch it. The internet told me it sucked. My friends told me it sucked. And I didn't want to see this character that I loved get done so dirty. But our corporate overlords, in their infinite wisdom, decided to put it on HBO. And boy golly, do I love a car crash. So I thought I'd watch it. And I'll be honest with you, I went into this movie wanting to hate it. For the first 20 minutes, I was just nitpicking every little thing. Oh, they played that song in the first movie. Hey, they did that in the first movie. I saw a scene like that in the first movie. And then something clicked for me. Something just dawned on me, and I could see everything. I knew exactly what this movie was trying to say. I knew what it was doing. I could see how it all connected to the first. I saw the story that they were trying to tell. It's like when Eren touches the girl's hand in the Attack on Titan, and he can see everything. That was me, dude. I feel like I saw the Matrix. Oh my god. I get it. I get it. I get it, and it's fantastic. There's a lot going on here that you may have missed, or maybe you didn't like, or a lot of things that were done unintentionally too, but I promise you it is fantastic. And thus, here we are. I will defend my client to my dying breath, or to his dying breath. Anyone with an anime profile picture, watch your back. On the first charge, felony narrative negligence and unlawful ending ruining, aka the story sucked. To this I say, objection! For this, let's take a look at some of the other versions of the Joker, and then Arthur Fleck's Joker. In most Batman media, the Joker is portrayed as an insane psychopath, a clown criminal mastermind who wants to just see the world burn. He's not in it for money, he's just in it for the love of the game, and he takes on Batman time and time again, his adversarial equal. He has these big master plans that Batman has to contend with. Batman beats him, puts him in jail, he kills a few people and gets out, happy ending. At the end of Joker 1, we see Arthur kill Murray, and then we see him in a cop car going to jail. And then the cop car crashes, and we see Arthur standing with his people. He's finally getting the love and admiration that he's wanted for his entire life. And then we see him in jail again, laughing and laughing and laughing. You wouldn't get it. The end. Let me ask you this. Would the Joker criminal mastermind that we've seen over and over again in most Batman media get captured twice? 2 separate times? Especially when he has his supporters with him that will defend him from anything on Earth? Okay, you got me. In The Dark Knight, Heath Ledger's Joker does get captured, but it's all part of his plan. In that whole movie, he's executing these big, complicated plans, and getting captured was for one of them. But Arthur has no plan. He did something wrong, something bad, and he goes to jail for it. He has no plan, no mustache-twirling scheme that Batman has to figure out and beat. He's not even a dog chasing cars that wouldn't know what to do if he caught one. He's more like a guy who gets cut off in traffic, flips the bird to the guy who cut him off, and then that guy gets out of his car and starts beating on the windshield, breaking it, and then Arthur is just sitting there not even knowing what to do, and then the guy pulls him out of the car and beats him up. That's Arthur. Arthur folds like a lawn chair and goes to jail for his crimes. Then in Joker 2, Arthur is on trial for his crimes. He's extremely sunken and depressed and barely speaks in the beginning. He's in too deep, and he knows it. No hope, only despair. And then he meets Lady Gaga. OMG, a girl! And she's all over him like the fangirl she is. She gives him more love and admiration, and she gives him a feeling of hope, a chance for him to be happy that he's never had in his entire loser life. No offense. Hey, if you had to off a few guys to do that, I say go for it. What's the big deal? Hey, what? I thought we were in America. But at the end of the movie, Arthur finally admits that there is no Joker. It's not some split personality Dr. Jekyll type of thing. He's just Arthur. And immediately, Lady Gaga and his fans walk out on him, like your dad going to get milk when you were 6. They care about the Jonkler that they created out of his Joker. Arthur's actions made him into a symbol. They see him killing the rich guys on the subway, killing a guy on TV, and he becomes a voice for the dark underbelly of Gotham, who seeks to rise up against the rich class and raise a little Cain. But here's the thing. That's not Arthur. He's not part of this dark, untanned, unshaven, a little bit stinky underbelly. He's not some psychopath that never felt any empathy in his life. My client is a mentally ill man who got beaten up over and over again. Simple as that. At Arthur Fleck's very heart, his very soul, he is an entertainer. He's an artist. He was put here to bring joy to the world like his abusive mama told him, but he was born into a cruel, cruel world and dealt a terrible hand right from the start. And every time he would push back against the unfairness of the world, he would get smacked in the back of the head 10 times over. So for this first charge, I say this. In Joker 1, my client says, I used to think my life was a tragedy, but now I see it's a comedy. My friends, in the Joker movies, the joke is on him. He is the joke. The Joker is the joke. Do you see how good that is? Ooh, the irony makes the corners of my mouth tingle like sour Skittles. This is good writing, guys. In this movie and the last one, Arthur is the butt of the joke over and over. He is constantly getting punked, like he has Ashton Kutcher following him around with some hidden cameras. He gets beaten up in an alleyway by teenagers. Everyone looks at him like he's a weirdo because he kind of is. He has no real friends, only one coworker that kind of likes him a little bit. He has no luck with women. Nobody likes him. Nobody thinks he's funny. Except me, of course. I think you're very funny. And isn't it fitting for Arthur, the man who's been overlooked his entire life, always gotten the short end of the stick, isn't it fitting for him to get overshadowed by a celebrity singer in his own movie? From what I remember, Arthur didn't sing a lick in the first movie, and now suddenly the second one's a whole musical just because Lady Gaga is in it? Come on, do you see what's happening here? It's all connected, man. Him getting overshadowed by Lady Gaga, always getting the raw end of a deal, never having any kind of victory in his life. Even when he killed Murray, that wasn't a win. He still got arrested and now he's facing jail. Him getting overshadowed by Lady Gaga is part of his character. That's how he's written, and that's why it works. Now, doesn't that sound like a good story? The mentally ill man who gets downtrodden over and over again, who gets turned into an unwilling martyr for people that don't even really care about him. The joke is on him. The Joker is the joke, guys. Come on, you gotta admit there's something here. We'll get more into this in a bit, but for right now, I'm done with this charge. Get it away. Thank you. Now the second charge. Aggravated junkler abuse and stabbiness. AKA Arthur's life sucks, he never wins, and he dies in the end, and that's a bad thing. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, my client's whole character is that he can never catch a break. The sad truth of it is, Arthur was never made to be the Joker that we know and love. We love him, we root for him, but he was simply never made for this. Do you really think that this mentally ill man could become a criminal mastermind who takes on Batman every week on the same Bat Time and Bat Channel? No. Arthur is an artist, not a crime boss. That's his character. He's not made for a good ending. He just wants to make people happy. And he was pushed too hard one way and pushed too hard back the next. And he finally snapped. He's hopelessly out of his depth in a world that will never accept him. He bit off more than he could chew, and he faces the music, right up until he gets eaten by a bigger fish. He was never going to be that Joker. He was always Arthur. And that's why this is a fantastic movie. Okay, get it off the screen. And now for the final charge. Reckless disrespect, face slapping, and pie in the facing of the Joker fanbase. I respectfully object! Now I know what you're thinking. You're saying that it's good that the hero we were rooting for never wins, gets abused all the time, and dies in a terrible way after losing everything? Yes. That's what this Joker is made for. He's made to show how life is unfair. That's life! He's an unwilling martyr who just wanted to make people laugh. Doesn't that sound interesting? But I get it. I know that it can be unsatisfying. Do you remember the scene where the courtroom blows up and Arthur escapes? You remember him getting picked up by his supporters and taken away in a car, safe and sound? He gets saved by people that supposedly loves him, and he runs out of the car and back into police custody. Why is that? Maybe because he knew that they didn't truly know him, they didn't truly care about him. That's literally the one thing he always asked for, and no one could ever give it to him. A lot of people think that the director purposefully wrote Joker 2 to have a bad ending as a middle finger to all the people that liked him in the first movie. But weren't we supposed to like him in the first movie? Didn't they write him to be likable? Didn't they show him being likable so that we could root for him? Weren't we supposed to do that? Why would they want to undo all of that work? We've had bad anti-heroes before, it's been no problem. I don't think it makes any sense for them to want to undo that work. Why would you want an unlikable main character? Isn't it more likely that he was continuing Arthur's arc of false success, the cruelty of life, and loss to its bitter end? I personally don't see it as a slap in the face. I see it as continuation of his character arc. But I completely get it if that's how you feel, okay? Well, there's that. You know, despite all my yapping in this video, we can actually disagree. It's okay, you don't have to agree with me on this. I just wanted to stand up for my big man here, who seemingly doesn't have anybody in his corner. My client says that his life is a comedy, not a tragedy. Arthur, I completely disagree. Your life is a comedy and a tragedy, and the joke is on you. But hey, that's life. Thanks for watching. I'll have a behind-the-scenes post for this video on my Patreon. That's patreon.com/Sriracha. Link below. Bye. Don't take it too hard. It's just a video.
Objection! 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 Objection!